Hello to Dr. Nova's class. I'm Professor Carlos from Valley College. I direct the choirs and I teach voice, music fundamentals. And I hate public speaking, and teaching is fine, but that's different. This feels like public speaking. So we're just gonna hang out for a minute, well, a few, and have a cup of tea together. And I want to talk to you about my perspective as a choral conductor about picking music. And so the first thing I want to talk about is a word that has sort of changed meanings over time, and that is prosody. So prosody, by the traditional sense of the word for literature, it means that that the stress of the syllables goes with they sort of make sense. So I tried to think of singing something with bad prosody, and I finally thought this through. So I'm going to sing the Star Spangled Banner with bad prosody. So in other words, the syllables don't match the stress of the beats. So I'm going to, here we go. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed o'er the twilight's last gleaming whose. Okay, so bad prosody, okay? It just took moving it over a syllable to make things work. So if we did it in 3/4 time, which is like we're used to hearing it, oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming. So even if we move that from 3/4 to 4/4, you can still make it work. And it's just a matter of putting the right stress on the right syllables, the right beats, the strong beats. Put it in 4/4. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail the twilight's last gleaming. So even in 4/4, you can still make it work if you put the stress on the right syllables. Well, that all started changing over time about how we feel about prosody, and it began to have a larger and broader meaning the more time went on. Because the meaning of prosody changed over time also. So where it used to be more about text stress, like it was when I first explained it, now it means more about does the lyrics match what the music is trying to say, and does the music match what the lyrics are trying to say? So somebody could hear the piece of music, just the accompaniment perhaps, and say, oh, that's probably about that, you know? And it would be silly to write I love you as an angry tune or something. I suppose you could in a musical theater setting or something, but it really became more about does the music express what the words are saying? Is the music trying to express it? And that really is where I start my search when I'm looking for choral music for choirs. There are some times that we just want to show off our chops. We just want to show, this is our Baroque chops. I love you. You know, it's like, okay, if somebody was singing that antsy to me, I would go, really? Did you have a lot of coffee? Speaking of tea. So, sometimes there's times when you just want to show these are our chops. These are our classical chops. These are our Baroque chops. Look how cleanly we can sing these runs. And there's not a lot of heart in there. It's about the virtuosity. So the things I'd explained from the different periods, that's what we're trying to demonstrate. So sometimes I'll go to J.W. Pepper, which is a music distributor, and I might look through 300 pieces of music for the college choir or chamber singers and find 2 pieces that I like. And a lot of it has to do with this prosody, like does the music express what the words are saying? And that's a really big, important thing for me. You know, regardless of what era it comes from, it's got to have good prosody for me. It's got to have good prosody. So that's a really, really big thing that I look for. I think that as much as music changes and ideas change over time, we can also look to I don't often program religious words unless they're spirituals. Um, uh, it's a little weird for people. When I was growing up, it wasn't a big deal. We could sing God in school, and it wouldn't matter when I was a little boy. But now we're in we have the sacred society and sort of a secular society too. So oftentimes you see these words sort of disguised in Latin, perhaps, and people find that sort of acceptable to do in public schools. And there's a particular piece called Ubi Caritas, and the actual text is written about when Christ was going to he was going to die. It was during Good Friday, and it was before the Good Supper, before the Last Supper, and he washed the feet of his disciples. And so this was written about that, but really, it could be anything. I hope the words are big enough. I had somebody blow the words up, and I hope you can see them okay. And it doesn't have to be about Christ or about God. It could be by a higher power, which might be someone's their relationship to money, or their relationship to the government, or their relationship to love, or whatever. But so I put the Latin here and a pretty literal translation on here. And Dr. Nova asked me to put 2 recordings on this, and I've not gone way over time, but I had a lot to say. And so I've included those. And the Ubi Caritas is written by, the composer is Olayelo. And he, there's an actual Ubi Caritas et amor Deus ibius, so chant. And he set it to a musical arrangement. So he set it twice, and one of the editions that I'm including is just the original Ubi Caritas as he arranged it for just a cappella choir. And the second one has the actual composer at the piano doing a piano improvisation. This was written years after he wrote the original one. And so you get to hear the actual pianist at the composer. He's a film score writer. He went to USC. I think he lives in New York now. And he's from Norway originally. And I hope that you enjoy these 2 different recordings. They're very different, but it's the same piece, same composer. And with the composer playing the piano, I think you get more of that prosody about what the text actually means and what the composer is trying to say. So I'm gonna let that just be on the screen for a minute. So if you wanna take a screenshot of that, you can see the words while you're following along. And thank you so much for letting me share my love of choral music and with you today. Thanks.